Hello everyone, my name is Cody Lawhorn. I am one of the producers and the head writer on Inklings. Today we are going to talk about the path ahead. Now I know this seems a little daunting since we still have a lot of things currently in the works right now. The script is written for episode 1 of season 0. I am working with our composer Matt on the second episode of season 0, which is A Perfect Hat for Poe. Last time I mentioned that I was going to be creating a list of potential hats for us to use along with accompanying potential lyrics, and I sent those over to our composer Matt. I sent him about 8 or 9 hats, and I also have another list of hats, about 5 or 6, to where I'm still cooking up ideas for lyrics for those ones. Matt has been busy starting the songwriting process. Jesse has continued his tireless effort of taking meetings with potential investors to try to secure us funding. Although I did get that list of hats to Matt, I did not write that list of backgrounds needed for the first episode of season 0. I am going to get that list over to Jesse. That way Daniel can start the illustration process on those backgrounds. Those backgrounds are so important because once Daniel draws them, they will be assets that we can use throughout the entire production of the show. So getting Jesse and Daniel that list this week is going to be a top priority of mine. Because after that list of backgrounds has been finalized and illustration has begun on those, that can be done simultaneously with storyboarding the first 2 episodes of A Perfect Hat for Poe. Now, although I am not going to be directing these episodes, that will be Jesse initially, nor am I the animator. When I write, I do think about these shots in terms of composition. Everything that happens within the frame on the screen. I think about the bugs and what they are doing and where they should be in relation to the camera. I also think about how the situation of what the bugs are doing might be better told visually from certain types of shots. So if the mood strikes, I may choose to sketch out a handful of shots that I would strongly feel should be incorporated in order to tell the story visually. I know Jesse is going to be starting the storyboarding process very, very soon for those first 2 episodes. He is free to start on episode 1, but episode 2 definitely does require the completion of the song on my part and Matt's part. But that's okay. The songwriting process takes a long time. There are plenty of other things I can be doing. So we are going to talk about the path ahead. We've talked a lot about episodes 1 and episodes 2. We have 4 more ideas for episodes for season 0. There's Tales of Horror, which features everyone's favorite stink bug Poe. There's Favorite Fables, which I believe is going to be an episode that belongs to Christy or Bronte. I say that because Bronte is definitely going to have another episode called Bronte's Book Club. Bronte's Book Club is an episode where Jesse and I will be featuring new up-and-coming children's authors by sharing their book on the episode from the Inklings themselves. Whether this type of episode shows up in season 0, we have yet to determine. This is because Jesse and I have a firm January deadline for the episodes of season 0. And finally, after Tales of Horror, Bronte's Book Club, Favorite Fables, there's finally the last episode, which is the ensemble episode. This is going to be the episode where all of the bugs come together in one big calamity. So I think from a writing standpoint, the next logical thing is either favorite fables or tales of horror. Now, I know the one main difference between these two episodes is that Favorite Fables is obviously going to be talking about fables, and Tales of Horror are definitely going to lean into more horror stories, and it will be featured by Poe. But one of the discussions that needs to take place between Jesse and I is how these sketches will unfold. Is Favorite Fables just going to have Christy reading a fable that's short and sweet, that doesn't really have time to involve any of the other Inklings within the episode? As Christy is reading the fables, are we going to be transported to some imaginary landscape where the Inklings are acting out the fable as it's being narrated? Or maybe we stay with Christy as she's reading the fables, and maybe we open the door to another different type of animation style. And the same conversation needs to be had about Tales of Horror as well. So my homework that I am assigning to myself is I have to get the list of backgrounds needed for episode 1 over to Jesse so he can relay them over to Daniel. I'm going to check in with our composer, Matt, towards the end of the week to give him more time to kick around the lyrics and melodies for the song for A Perfect Hat for Poe. And I'm just going to check in with him to see if he has decided whether he is in favor or against any of the hats or lyrics I have come up with. I have told Matt that my feelings definitely will not be hurt if he does not want to use a particular hat. So I'm actually kind of hoping he rejects one or two of them. Maybe it just doesn't work with the melody he composes. Who knows? So we are going to check in with him later on in the week. And then aside from checking in with Matt and getting Jesse that list of backgrounds, I also need to make time to meet with Jesse so he and I can chat more about Favorite Fables and Tales of Horror. That way we can get started with writing both of those episodes, because I feel that the sooner that those two episodes are written, the sooner I can write the finale, the ensemble episode of Season 0. Thank you, everyone, for listening in to this episode of the Writer's Room Takeover as we plot out the path ahead. I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful week, and always remember that reading a book is a gift to yourself. Thank you.